Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Live here, and a Nintendo Direct just happened. Did you see it? Well, maybe you didn't, but if you didn't, that's fine, because I'm joined by the wonderful Xeon. And the wonderful Felix. That was definitely a different sound.
Yeah, that sounds like a boy who got everything he wanted from a Nintendo Direct. I think.
Yes!
It really is Christmas. It was a Direct. I don't think we need to sort of hide the fact that we thought it was a flippin' good one, but let's get into it. We're going to cover everything, some definitely in more detail than others, but one of the ones that we're going to cover in significant detail, Mario and Luigi Brothership. I mean, how on earth have they been sitting on this for so long?
I was just so surprised to see this. I did not expect.
Me too.
I'm really not expecting this, but I have just been getting into the Mario and Luigi series again, so it was just perfect timing. The games are so good, and it's just really nice to see another one that it's not dead. And it's a brand new game, not just a HD or remaster or remake. Mm-hmm. No, it's new and it looks good.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, that animation is so, like, stretch and squash. Yeah.
Yeah, like the solid like lines on the outside of the characters reminded me a lot of like what Nintendo did with Smash for 3DS as well, but like actually full HD.
Yeah,
that's also a bit of
I really liked the art style too.
There's a bit of Mario Strikers Battle League actually. It reminded me a bit of that.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a little hint of that as well.
At least when they do the cut scenes, you would call it the super strikes. It reminded me a bit. Either way, lovely. Cannot wait, and it's coming out the 7th of November.
I am really surprised that we're getting another like turn-based Mario RPG in like a 1.5 or like 1 year span. I'm not mad about it.
It's awesome.
Like it's cool to see Nintendo putting so many of their eggs in the like in the RPG basket when it comes to Mario. I'm just really surprised by it. So maybe that means Nintendo will be doing other RPG stuff, you know, like Earthbound or something someday. Maybe
Mario RPG fans are eating good right now, aren't they?
For real. Yeah, it's real good.
I'm just seeing it again. It's just so smooth and fun, and the character designs are so expressive compared to so much of what we've seen in the, at least certainly the distant past with Mario. But just looking at it, just looks great.
Yeah,
and there's quite a few like original characters too, actually, in this, isn't there? Like I feel like in past Mario RPG games, it doesn't always like they've you know, like we've had like the Mario Paper Jam, right, or Sticker Star, where like
yes, Mario and Luigi Sticker Star.
Oh right, or Paper Mario. Whoops, whoopsies.
This is the first time we're getting Mario and Luigi on the big screen, not just on a hand. I mean, I know the Switch is a handheld, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
No, it's a really good point. Yeah, and I'm curious to see who's making this in the end. Like, did Nintendo go and hire like a bunch of developers from Alpha Dream, or did they make a new studio, or is this internally? You know, it's we might not find out till the game actually comes out. But yeah, oh my gosh, I'm watching it again. I love all these new characters. They're really cute.
I think I saw it the first time and I thought, yeah, it looks all right. Now looking at it again, it's like, okay, this looks really good. Oh, that's why it reminded me of Battle League. There's like this scene in the end where he's kicking this shell, and that's very much...
Oh, yeah. It's actually... So maybe this could be next level, to be honest.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
actually,
it's a possibility.
It is a possibility.
The animation, I mean, is next level, and that's not a joke, but it is a joke. Yeah, no,
that's good.
I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I'd put money on this being next level, to be honest.
I just really hope the end game doesn't like do anything like Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, because we don't need that for Mario and Luigi. They're fine just being, you know. Let's just say it gets a little dark. Yeah.
Do you know what's less dark, though? Except for maybe in resolution. That didn't make any sense. Nintendo World Champions NES Edition. We see a little bit more there. We've known about this before. I can't remember exactly what's new and what's not. So I'm just going to read out my notes. There's online leaderboards now, which makes an enormous amount of sense. There's a survival mode. Legend challenges. Let's do that one first. Which is things like completing Super Mario Bros. In a single go. They said using warp pipes, but I imagine they'll let you just, you know, do it without warp pipes. I don't know. But either way, that's fun. You know, it's the kind of silly challenge that people enjoy. Survival mode as well, where you fight against Ghost Data in a sort of pseudo battle royale. yeah, it looks like there's going to be some girth to this one.
Yeah, I like how much effort they're putting in, and honestly, like reading the title out loud again makes me hope that they're going to do like a Super Nintendo edition or a GBA edition or something at some point, and maybe this is just like the first of many titles to come out. I know
Looks
it's
like they're
wishful
trying
thinking,
to keep
but
themselves open.
yeah.
Moving on then, they showed off Fairy Tail 2 coming out in winter this year. Then they moved on to Fantasian Neo Dimension.
This one had me
Which-
really excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cool thing with this one is all of the environments are built with like actual miniatures. So like there's like little like fake grass, and like all the terrain is made with sand and real dirt, and like the buildings are made of, you know, I don't know if paper and but probably like foam, crafting foam and like things like that. And but then all the character models are 3D, and this is being directed, I believe, by Hironobu Sakaguchi, like the creator of Final Fantasy. So, but the weird thing is that this was originally an Apple Arcade game, and so I don't know if
Oh,
Neo
really?
Dimension. Yeah, it's been locked on Apple Arcade for years, and so I don't know if this is like a remake, if this is a sequel with, you know, I don't know what this is, but I want it. I want it right now.
I must admit, I didn't even notice the like the sort of like paper textures and things like that when I saw it.
Uh-huh.
That's actually really cool. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, Sian was telling me all about it, and I mean, you can definitely see that. Okay, this is made for the small screen originally because they are a bit blurry, but it is a really cool idea to actually do all the miniatures and stuff. It's something
Yeah.
that takes a lot
I
of
did
skill.
just see someone pass in front of a lamppost as well, and they should have gone behind.
Oh, funny.
Which is, I mean, that could be an error. That could also be me misreading the graphics, of course. So
That's
let's
the
not
deep
hold
lore.
it against them too much.
sure.
Moving on, we then got another look at a new sport coming to Nintendo Switch Sports. It's the basketball. Watch out for the Shack Attack. It's a free update where you can dribble, pass, and shoot in 2-on-2. It's
Wow, I'm sold. That was great.
it's
Alex.
basketball, baby.
Basketball was really fun in Wii Sports Resort. It was one of my favorite. I always played it, but I don't know. I think I'll still just play there. I mean, it's cool. It's a good sport that they've added. It just feels a bit late, if that makes sense. It's so like I did not
tremendously
I
late.
did not expect them to add more sports, and
No, I thought they were done.
I did not play the game that much simply because there was just a lot of the sports that was very similar, not that fun compared to Wii Sports. I think they just dropped the basketball on this one.
Whoa!
Yeah, I'm curious how many people still play Switch Sports. Because yeah, it definitely didn't have like the legacy that. And I mean, it's only been out a couple of years, anyways. But it didn't have like the legacy that Wii Sports had by any
Oh,
stretch.
no.
But it is.
No.
Yeah, I do agree. I'm happy to see some more sports being added, and yeah, maybe I'll give it a go too. But yeah, right now I'm just like we've played basketball on other games before. There's multiple games I think in this direct that have basketball, so that was kind of funny to see too. But.
We'll get to those, but before we do, there was Mio Memories in Orbit. Now, I don't know if this is just MIO, Memories in Orbit, or however it's supposed to be pronounced.
Looks really good.
It does. Just more than anything,
Yeah.
the art style sang to me, and the movement of the character.
Yeah.
Like moving along with like the hair like a spider. It's so
Yeah.
fluid. I love it.
It's definitely added to my wish list. It's one of those games that, I've not heard anything about it, and now that I've seen it, it just looks like a game I would really enjoy, so I'm really stoked about that one.
I love how they presented this as well by like not revealing what the title was or the developer until the end, because full on I really was like, is this like a spin-off in the Metroid universe for a little bit? Like I know we haven't seen a Metroid, but it's so confident, and it looks like it runs really well too.
Yeah.
Yeah, decently. There are some areas where I'm noticing frame drops, but I am
Yeah?
a sensitive
Okay.
sausage to this sort of thing.
No, I'm glad you caught him though. That's,
I mean,
that's
it's
good to
nothing
hear.
compared to games we're going to be talking about here in a little bit.
Oh, true.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
We'll get to those.
Speaking of which, well, actually, no, not really, because this runs fine. There's a free update coming to Disney Illusion Island. That's coming out today at the time of recording.
Yeah.
Then we got Hello Kitty Island Adventure. which isn't Animal Crossing, we swear.
It sure plays a lot like one, but it's so we got to go hands-on with this at Summer Game Fest, which now I can finally talk about, and we talk about it much more in a future video, so I'll be a little short here with it. But it's so much more than Animal Crossing, and my favorite thing is the fact that there are only like 18 villagers basically in the game, but they all like give you missions. They all have their own unique dialogue. It really feels like it's much more mission and objective focused than an Animal Crossing game. So, but it still has like a lot of
which
there's a lot of quality.
Isn't a high bar.
True, that's a good point. But it still has like the house customization and the friendship building and like just like the kind of simple tasks to kind of like, you know, keep your brain occupied. So I was very like surprised by this. I was not expecting to like it as much as I did.
It's actually a really good idea for Animal Crossing. I know it's really nice that there's so many villages, but it also feels less personal. A lot of them blend together because they just have the same personalities.
Yeah.
And there's too much in my opinion. And I hadn't even thought about, wait, why don't they just scale it down and make some really good villages with loads of dialogue? I would love to see that in future Animal Crossing.
Well,
installments.
admittedly, the older games were a bit more like that, but you know, as time went on and all that. But no, I agree. You know, can half of them. Can the half I don't
yeah,
like.
because half of them are just insanely ugly.
Next up, we got to look at Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports coming out in autumn. Then there was an Among Us update with some new roles that's coming out today. Farmagia, which is like a farming sim, I know, on Switch, imagine, coming out on the 1st of November. And then, out of nowhere, bursting out of a barrel, it's Donkey Kong Country Returns HD.
Yeah.
Which I sort of feel like, well, I feel like I should have predicted this at some point, and who knows, maybe I did, but no, this just completely came out of nowhere. It's got all 80 levels, which is including the 3DS exclusive ones.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a thing. Okay.
Yeah. There's local co-op as well. Don't know if that was in the original. I was about to say I've never played it. I own it. I just don't think I've played it.
Oh, sure.
Because the motion controls put me off. But now we can play it on Switch.
Yeah, Felix was really excited about this one. I was a little bit like miffed just because I think I really wanted 3D Donkey Kong, but it was nice to hear that, like, yeah, Felix, you know, you've never played this one either. So
no, I've played Tropical Freeze, and that was a very splendid time. And I actually almost picked this game up the other day. I remember because we have like a retro video game store here now, which is really nice, and they had that game, and I thought, hey, that might be worth a shot. And now it's just coming on Switch, which is really nice because it just looks to be, it looks very similar to Tropical Freeze. So yeah, cannot wait to give this a shot.
I can't abide this game being referred to as being in a retro game shop.
Oh, that is kind of weird.
It's
like what? It's like 3 years old or something.
Let's check. How old is Donkey Kong Country Returns?
It's all right. Let's just put Grandpa and I to bed. It's totally. Go on, play your retro Wii, Felix.
14 years ago.
Oh my great God!
That should not be. That's not good. That's not good at all.
That's not good. No, I feel like I'm dying as we speak.
He really said 14 years.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually 13 because it's in November, but almost 14 years.
All right.
What's interesting, though, is that this is clearly, at least to my eye, not using assets from Tropical Freeze. This is using the original elements.
Yeah.
Some of them, I'm guessing, have been upscaled. Some of them will have been recreated with higher poly count. But it definitely doesn't have, like, quite the same look as Tropical Freeze. And that's fine, don't get me wrong, but there is a part of me that's like, you know, this feels very much like end of life kind of game, you know?
It depends on the price, I think. If we see it's a full retail price, no, that's not good. But
that's so not Rainbow Rhythms.
It's coming out next year, which I felt like it was really far off because it's like this feels like a game they would kind of just drop in a month or something. So I don't know. Yeah,
I'm guessing they're just kind of eking things out, to be honest, because it's the end of the Switch's life. But you know, I've only played the 3DS version of this game, and not for very long. So yeah, I'm looking forward to giving this one a go. I just wish it just looked a little bit better, but I'm being a picky little sod.
You know what does look better is Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. My God.
Ooh, yeah.
Very pretty. I know you don't agree,
You could make
Alex.
that argument.
But personally, it is so gorgeous. I really hope they remake more games in this style.
And turns out they are. So Alana and I, our deputy editor, got to go hands-on with this at Summer Game Fest as well, which I'm very, like, it feels like a weight has been lifted off my chest because now I can publicly talk about a lot of this stuff. But when we got to play it, we only got to play Dragon Quest 3, and they didn't have 1 or 2 there advertised, nothing. They wouldn't answer our questions about, if 1 and 2 were coming out, because these games are a trilogy, but 3 is the first one in the trilogy. So, so it's really exciting to see that we're actually getting all 3 of them.
And what a reveal. Really, they really thought, okay, we're done. There's no 1 and 2. And then it pans out. Oh, it was so nice. Well played.
I mean, there was a part of me that just sort of felt, even though I'm not like a Dragon Quest fan or anything, I don't have a horse in the race. But when they were just like, hey, there's Dragon Quest 3, it's, it's its own thing. And then here's the other 2 as well. It's sort of like, oh, so they're not all together? I don't know. It just sort of felt like, couldn't you have just put them all in one collection?
Well, it's weird.
I wonder
if they're going to release them like individually digitally, and then because they did confirm to us that a physical edition is coming. But I wonder if that means that that will be like if the others will be like available if you buy the physical, if you'll get them as a free update, or if they'll release them all together as a physical, on the disc and on the cartridge, or what. But I hope these aren't $60 games individually, because you can go and buy them on the eShop right now, like the enhanced like NES style versions for $10 maybe US. And so okay. I'm a little miffed about I'm a little curious about what that'll look like.
It's nice to know that it's not dead though, because they had us waiting. They really did. But I guess it's because they did 3 and then they thought, no, let's do 1 and 2 as well, and then they've been working on that.
Yeah, they did reveal as well that Dragon Quest has always kind of had like a weird history with orchestral or with the music. I know Felix and I we've talked about this before, but they did confirm that like at least Dragon Quest 3 is getting like a full orchestral rendition.
Oh, that's
and it's
so
not
nice.
going to be like it's not going to be a MIDI version, which Dragon Quest is. The games have been plagued with MIDI soundtracks for years, and it's been strange, but yeah. So it looks like they're putting a lot of effort into these and making them faithful. So I think Dragon Quest fans will be eating good.
And this also just gives me a little bit of hope of Chrono Trigger also getting the same treatment.
Ooh, for real? Yeah, they need to keep practicing until they finally decide what the heck they want to do with that series or with that game. Yeah.
Do you know what doesn't look good though? And I think we're in agreement with this. Funko Fusion. This game is unbelievably ugly.
This is one of the worst games I've ever seen in my entire life, and that's saying something.
It looks awful. Like, I don't want to give it too much screen time, but it's just like, oh, imagine every character you could ever think of, half-baked and stripped down to the barest parts of their personality, so that they no longer have one. I mean, come on. Some of the stuff here just looks terrible. What did they do to Shaun of the Dead? How did they get that license? I'm furious. This looks terrible. My notes just say, oh no, Jesus Christ. What have they done to Shaun of the Dead? 13th of September 2024.
As somebody who also I hate Funko Pops so much, there's a little bit of optimism in me that this game could be like a Conker's Bad Fur Day style like movie mashup with lots of fun like set pieces, but I really like it hurts me to say that. It really I'm in pain over that. My hands are shaking. I'm sweating. I don't feel good about it.
It just looks so muddy. It was at times it was like, what's even happening on my screen right now?
Yeah, so, like the lighting looks unfinished.
I don't even want to talk about this game anymore. Let's move on.
Okay, well, they did show off Luigi's Mansion 2 HD again, which we're not going to mention because it's just around the corner. Then we got to look at the new Denpa Men, which caught me off guard.
I did not expect that. I think there's 3 on the 3DS. I've not played them, but they've always piqued my interest. They look like, it's just funny little men. So, and there's 4-player local co-op. That's awesome. We can play together.
I always thought this was a like Nintendo-owned franchise or something. I've not played it either, but I've known about it on other like Nintendo platforms. And
Wait, it's free to play? What?
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
realize free to play, and they also said something about it'll be coming to Nintendo Switch first before other platforms. So I
Yeah,
don't know,
like a timed platform exclusive or timed
Yeah.
console exclusive or something.
Aw,
Yeah.
So weird that it's free to play. Didn't look like that game
yeah.
at all to me. But hey.
No, strange choice, but willing to give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yes. Yeah.
Very much like Metal Slug Attack Reloaded. Am I going mad? Wasn't this called Metal Slug Tactics, or is that a different
it's
game?
a different game, so it's really weird to see
that-
this because it's not out yet, the other one.
I got really confused because I was like, I swear it was like a top-down game.
Yeah.
So
This
I'm
feels-
pleased to know I'm not gone completely mad.
Yeah, this is like one of those weird things where like SNK or whoever owns Metal Slug like probably they put feelers out there to get new games made up, and just Tactics is taking too long to make or whatever, and so Attack Reloaded is ready. But it's like it's weird that they have two games with RPG elements coming out that are spin-offs of a run and gun game. So that's it feels
Yeah.
like oversaturating the market a little bit with Metal Slug, but I bet there are tons of people that are stoked about this. So I don't mean to like poo-poo on it, but it's just strange, right?
It is odd, but yeah, I'm perfectly willing to give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I think
My voice just broke.
that's fair. Is it okay? Do you want tape? Do you want tape, glue, anything? Felix, do you have anything to pass
I
around?
actually just bought some gaffer tape, so yeah. If you want some, just let me know.
Perfect.
Well, how about Darkest Dungeon 2 coming on the 15th of July?
It looks cool and scary.
I have a friend who really likes the first one, so I'm like, okay, I bet he's really happy. I haven't played it though, but I've heard good things about Darkest Dungeon, so it's
Yeah,
actually really cool.
I've heard good things. I've heard good things as well. I just don't really have a horse in the race.
No.
But then we got a look at some new NSO Nintendo Switch Online games. Link to the
Yeah.
Past, Four Swords, nice inclusion.
Yeah.
Metroid Zero Mission. Very nice inclusion. And then we also learned, did we know about like Nintendo Switch Online, Nintendo 64 Mature before? Is that a new
I've
thing?
never heard about it before, so
No,
it got
I
me
didn't
off
think we
guard.
had.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, and that's coming to. This is all coming today, including the original Turok, which is weird and nice because you can buy like the port for like £15 or something, which I think is a bit much. But more importantly, Perfect Dark. Now, I know you guys want to talk about the other games as well, but can I just say,
Absolutely.
they are like rebooting Perfect Dark on Xbox. It's
Yeah.
like starting again, sort of. It's not quite clear where they're going with it, at least to me. But it's a big deal. It's now becoming what they're calling like a quadruple A game, which let's hope it's more quadruple than Skull and Bones. But even so, like it is a relevant title right now. It's a relevant series. It's a current series. And yeah, they're just happy to go to Nintendo. Yeah, sure, you can have it as well. Like, what's going on? What? Is there no such thing as an exclusive anymore? I'm not complaining in the slightest, but my God, this really took me back. I'm really looking forward to playing everything at 15 frames a second with 4 players.
Right.
So this looked very similar
yeah, go
to 007, that game.
Oh yeah, it's a spiritual successor to it.
Nice. Well, it's a great game. Is it also as fun to play with 3 other people?
I would say
Yes, but for different reasons.
Okay.
It is similarly chaotic, but at the same time, there's also more going on. And there's more ways that you can absolutely gank your friends if you get the Farsight, which is a gun that can see and shoot through walls and home in on enemies.
Okay, that sounds way too overpowered.
Yeah, generally, if I've played it with friends and things like that, it's like, okay, you can use the Farsight, but no homing. That is just, that is too much.
I think it's really nice to see Perfect Dark come over because it's such a staple for the N64, and like realistically, kind of like what you were saying, Alex. I think too is like I think now more people that like haven't played Perfect Dark or haven't played it in years will be able to play it and then maybe get hyped up for the Xbox version or the Xbox reboot. Because like I'm really stoked for that. It looks like Mirror's Edge meets Perfect Dark, and I'm sold.
Yeah, I thought that looked good.
Yeah, me too. And it's so good that we're like, I mean, Turok, whatever, but like Metroid Zero Mission is one of the best 2D Metroid games. It's my personal
You were
favorite.
right first.
Yeah.
It's one of the best Metroid games.
Thanks.
You don't have to specify 2D, my friend.
That's fair. I do think it's the best 2D. Just for me. For me. I know Super Metroid is there. I know.
Actually, I don't rate Super Metroid as highly as other people. It was excellent for its time, but I think that time has been a little unkind to it, particularly in the controls department. Anyway, that's a slight tangent.
I do want to ask, what is your favorite though? Just quick. What is?
Oh my god, I don't know. Ask me on a different day. I'll give you a different answer.
Sounds good. But Link to the Past is coming over with 4 swords.
Yeah.
We could totally stream that and all 4 of us play that, or all
4 of us. Alex, Xeon, Felix, and Alex.
Haven't you met what's Mr. Bean? He's gonna play with us, duh.
Mr. Bean.
Yeah, just gonna get Rowan Atkinson on. Yeah, he's been gagging to come on Nintendo Live.
Yeah, he's a big fan.
I mean, I would love to do that. I am just concerned that these online NSO games don't work tremendously well across seas.
Nope, they don't.
Oh yeah, that's
but
right.
Who knows? Maybe they've improved it. I'm more than willing to give it a dry run, even though I think I know the answer.
Yeah, we'll just test one stream and see how it goes.
It's not working. Bye, everyone. Yeah. Moving on then, they showed off Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero, which is coming in 2025. Then Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics.
Oh, yeah, Sion was really excited about this one.
I don't like the length of the title. It took me a long time to get it right.
It's not a good title, but it is, honestly, like, you could just say Marvel vs. Capcom Collection. Like, anybody's just going to say that from now on, I think. And it's so good to see MVC2 is what a lot of people call it, because that's easier, just coming back. Because this game, it got released on like PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 as a digital download, and like beyond like getting a physical real like arcade cabinet release from Arcade 1-Up, we haven't seen this game on PlayStation 4, Xbox like Series X or Xbox One or anything. So it's it's really nice to see this come back with online multiplayer. MVC2 is the king of 2D fighters in my eyes. It's like, I remember playing it as a kid with my cousin, playing it at the arcade. And it's, even if you like didn't grow up with it, like I was telling Felix, I think it's just a lot of fun to just like play with some pals for a couple hours, because there are so many characters in the game and you unlock them as you play. It kind of like Smash Bros. It's such a crazy mashup. Like, Jill Valentine from Resident Evil is in the game, and so is Mega Man, and Captain America's there, and San, like the Legend of the Monkey King, like, character is an original character. There's a Cactus Man. It's so weird. I'm gonna buy this for MVC2 alone, and I'm gonna get off my soapbox, but it's great.
I'm gonna be an X-Men.
You could be Gambit's in the game. He says like credit card, but he throws playing cards at you instead. At least that's what I always thought he said, but it's so good. I'm so excited.
Do you know what I think he said? I think he actually said Super Mario Party Jamboree.
This whole time, my gosh, what a time
he was
traveler.
saying. He was spoiling it years in advance. Yes!
Yeah!
It's a new Mario Party game. Felix, I know you're
God.
dying to take it away. Take it away.
Yeah, this looks like it's mashing together Mario Party Superstars and Super Mario Party, which is really nice. We have more than 5 boards. I was sitting, because they were showing off, we have 5 new boards, and I said, like, only 5?
You literally said, you were like, only 5, and then literally, like, it was like Nintendo was like, push the button, release the other ones. So we have Mario's Rainbow Castle and Western Land. Western Land I've played on NSO, and it's really fun. I haven't played Rainbow Castle, though, but I've heard mixed things. But I'm so excited just to see more Mario Party. We have loads of new characters, loads of mini-games. Some are motion controls, some are not. We have Ninja playable. There's a map where you go around in a car. Like, what? That's so cool. Goomba Lagoon. That looks like a nice map. So I like the shopping mall a lot, but I'm a big fan of malls. What can I say? Yeah, you do too.
Coconut Mall. Okay, so there's Mega Wiggler's Tree Party. Nice. King Bowser's Keep, Roland Raceway, Goomba's Lagoon, and Rainbow Galleria. Why are they also calling that Rainbow? That's weird. Anyway, yeah, super excited about this. This was like my only thing I requested on Twitter. Everyone was going on about Silk Song, about Twilight Princess. I was just
Let's not talk about Silk Song in this video.
But I was just like, I would love to see some Mario Party, because it has been, I don't know, I just love Mario Party. I played it here the other day and just got reminded of how fun Mario Karty.
Oh, yeah.
The crossover of the century.
Yeah, and 110 mini games. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a pretty good amount. Yeah.
20 player online. That's going to be great for streams, depending on how well it works.
Yeah. That was a really good point. It'd be fun to see us do something like that with the community.
I don't know what to say. This got the biggest reaction of me by far. And I was sitting and absolutely losing my mind. I apologize to everyone who watches the reaction because, I really like that they are mashing these two games because I like things from both of them. Super Mario Party has a lot of great stuff. They improved on a lot in Mario Party Superstars, but I think they didn't improve on was like the amount of characters and the amount of boards was still only 5. Now we have 7, which is 7 is good. I'm very
7
happy.
is better.
Yeah.
It could be better still. But yeah, no, I would take 7 over 5 any day.
Wasn't it only 4 in Super Mario Party or something absolutely insane?
I think it was either 4 or 5. I can't quite remember off the top of my head.
I hated the boards in Super Mario Party, at least when playing. So I felt like Super Mario Party was really good when you played 2v2, because then the whole boards were these big grids, and it made it much more fun. Where the normal one, I don't know, it was just not a lot of spaces to run around on. So I'm just having a look at I'll have to do a whole video just going into detail about all the different things. But I was so excited about Mario Party Superstars when that came out. It was one of those games where I stayed up until midnight and played it. Like, I really just love
awesome.
Mario Party. And Western Land being fully redone, that's awesome to see. Very excited. Yes, I'm ready for October 17th. Anyway, I've been talking for a long time, just me. What do you guys think?
I do want to say as well that like I really thought it was just going to be DLC because Mario Party Superstars was such like a great direction for the series. But I think everything that they're adding in here really makes it feel like it's going to be worth spending, a full retail price on it again. So I don't mind. I'm happy with Mario Party Superstars with how infrequent I do play it. But I'm really looking forward to this new one as like a casual Mario Party fan.
I just think it looks really good. I'm a little bit surprised that it's a whole new game, but I suppose that's more in line with how Mario Party's been in the past. So I can't really, sort of knock it for that. I am keen to just sort of see how the boards work, because a board looking good and actually playing well are two very different things, but I've got reasonable faith. I also have reasonable wisdom about The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom.
My
gosh.
What
the hell is this? In the best way. What the hell is this? So you play as Zelda, and instead of having a sword or doing like direct combat, you have this staff called the Tri-Rod, which for some reason sounds rude to me, but I don't think it is. And using that, as Zelda, you can create echoes of objects that you find in the world. So you could create a load of beds, you could create a load of crates, rocks to throw at enemies, and then you can create echoes of monsters and enemies as well, so you can get them to fight for you. Which, I don't know, in a way I was just sort of like, oh, it's Minecraft, but it's Zelda, but at the same time, it's kind of working. What's going on? I'm still kind of taken aback by it. The fact that they've been sitting on this kind of surprises me. I'm amazed we haven't had any kind of leak or anything like that, or maybe we have. I mean, I know there was talk about a game where you play as Zelda, but I don't think any of us could have predicted this. Also, the business scrub is in it.
Yes.
There are so many cool like crossovers from other games, because I mean, like, it's using the Link's Awakening art style, but there are so many new like items and characters.
You play as Zelda. That's just unbelievable, man.
Yeah, it's really cool. Also, did you notice how Link was wearing blue when he first came in? Because that's what people will recognize him as now. God, isn't time strange?
Interesting. I didn't even consider that was like, potentially like a way to make people know who he is.
Which is bonkers, but yeah.
I mean, he is also wearing green underneath, so it was just like blue on top.
Yeah, getting the best of both worlds. Yeah. But the cloak looks very Breath of the Wild. And Tears of the Kingdom. More Breath of the Wild than Tears of the Kingdom.
I think this game looks amazing. I love the gameplay ideas that they have. It just looks kind of like with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. You'll make your own adventure, your own solutions. It just looks really fun. Like, she's just placing 3 beds on top of each other, and then a table, and then you go over the wall. And the whole thing with the monsters, sounds very overpowered, but it also is really fun. It just looks like a fun game, and I love that they're just going all in with this one mechanic, which is, I love when games just find a cool mechanic and then they just explore it a lot, which it looks like they are doing. So, yeah.
Yeah, the
Very
way that you can
excited.
like capture a Redead essentially, or make a clone of a Redead and like stick it on your enemies is like that's really
Yeah.
cool. My one gripe is that I kind of wish this game had its own art style, because I feel like it's like lacking identity in a sense. But you know, it is what it is. I'm not
yeah.
going to be too upset about that. I'm going to move on past that, you know, over time. But that's the only thing I think I really have to say that's like a opposing thought, you know, about it. But
I must admit, if this had just come out before like Tears of the Kingdom was revealed and everything, I think I would have been really skeptical. But after playing Tears of the Kingdom and making my own vehicles and doing all this weird stuff in Zelda, I'm more than up for it. I have full confidence that they're going to do it justice.
Yeah, no, definitely. And personally, I just love the Link's Awakening art styles. I'm really glad to see that they're exploring it,
It
more
is good fun.
in an original
Yeah.
game. So, yeah, all around, very surprised to see it, but very happy. Very, very happy.
yeah, I guess now we know like what Grezzo has been busy doing. It's not Oracle of Ages and
Yeah.
Seasons remakes. It's a
brand
brand
new
new
game.
game. Yeah, and it's still called The Legend of Zelda too, even though you play as Zelda. Like, which is actually, now I think about it, right? That's so
Imagine if they
that's so
called it
crazy.
The Legend of Link.
The Legend of Link.
yeah. Like for years, it's always like, I mean, it used to be such a thing of like, well, actually, the main character's name isn't Zelda, it's Link, even though the game is called Zelda.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
that,
now
that
it's-
argument
yeah.
doesn't hold any water. The Lord of the Rings in the books is Sauron. He is the Lord of the Rings. It doesn't
see, I didn't know
have to
that.
be named after the protagonist. Only idiots think that.
Well, we're all idiots at
Don't
one
at
point.
me in the
but-
comments.
I remember naming my main character Zelda in the first time I played Ocarina of Time.
Well, it must be confusing later on. Anyway, it's coming out September 26th, so it's nice that it's
Yo, you're
not
right.
not that long away.
Yeah.
Yep, and I'm gonna buy that gold Zelda Switch
Oh
Lite
my
because
God.
I'm a sucker.
Oh, yeah, that looks
That's not
pretty.
even-
I've got
yeah.
a Switch Lite. I never use it, but I want that.
Yeah.
I don't have one either, but that is so pretty that I'm really tempted
Yeah.
to get it.
And getting to play with the D-pad will be really swell too, as long as they. I don't know if Link's Awakening had D-pad controls, but it would be nice if this one did.
Then we got to look at Just Dance 2025, which is definitely a Just Dance game. That's coming out in October 2024. And then we got to look at Lego Horizon Adventures, which we already knew about from Summer Game Fest, but Nintendo were talking about it this time.
Yeah, it was cool to see the Switch version actually running now instead of like we got to go hands-on with this at Summer Game Fest, and I played the PS5 version, and you know, it's always like we always know it's going to look not as good on Switch, but I'm glad to see that like all the bricks are there, all the layering of the world is fully intact. It just seems like the lighting and the graphical detail is like the biggest change, and that makes sense. But I was really surprised by this. It's a lot of fun, implements a lot of humor, as you'd expect from a Lego game, but like follows the story of the first Horizon game. Yeah, I'm genuinely really excited to play this, even as like a non-Horizon fan. And it comes out this winter.
I did try and get into the first one, Zero Dawn, and I don't know what it was. I couldn't get into it, which I felt really, well,
Yeah.
not really bad about, but
You felt
a little bit
really bad.
about.
You went to bed crying and be like, no, why me?
I get the feeling though, like, was it that you really wanted to enjoy it, sort of thing?
Yeah. I just wasn't sucked in by the world or the gameplay, and that's it. But maybe I'll have another swing with the Lego version. Next up, we got to look at Stray. Stray is coming
Yeah.
to Switch, which
Woof.
yes, indeed. Kind of caught me off guard, to be honest. The graphics are a little bit muddy on Switch.
Oh, yeah, they definitely are.
Frame rate's a little bit shonky here and there, but you play as a cat, and that helps a lot.
So I know Sion hasn't played this. Have you played this, Alex?
Technically, yes. Realistically, no. I've seen Sasha play it, and I think I controlled at one point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've played this game and it's really good. I think maybe I even enjoyed it a lot more than I don't know. I just thought it was a really, really good game. You get so immersed in this whole world with the robots, and personally, I would not play it on Switch just because it looks like a pretty big downgrade compared to the original, and that's something I really enjoyed was
Yeah.
how pretty the game was, and you could just see all the water droplets, and that it really helped me get immersed in the game. Of course, it's really nice to have on Switch because not all people have a way to play this game on other consoles. If The Witcher 3 wasn't on Switch, even though it looks really bad, I would have not have played it. I can overlook the visuals if the gameplay is fun, and Stray has fun gameplay, so if you don't have any other way to play it, I would definitely pick up Stray because it is such a unique and fun experience with almost no dialogue, and you're just running around being this little cat, and you can go through these little cracks, and you can jump really high, and it's not even that long. It's not the longest game, and you know what? I really like that.
Yeah, I quite like a short game these days. I see games where it's like, oh, main story complete in 60 hours, and I'm like, I haven't got the time to commit to that. I've got too many other games I need to play.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you both as well. I'm happy this is coming over to Switch. I don't think I'll play it on Switch. I'll just play it on something else. But yeah, it's nice for people that can't have, or that they don't have other options. Because
Exactly.
I remember this getting nominated for a bunch of Game of the Year awards when it first launched, and
it's deserved because it's really magical. Magical little thing.
Good. Speaking of magic,
Speaking of magic, we have. You do realize that is a transition. You're talking about hobbits. They're like the least magical creatures in the Lord of the Rings. We have Tales of the Shire.
Well, I heard that there will be other characters. There will be other characters, but you're right.
Didn't you see Gandalf?
Yeah,
Alex?
interesting design. Yes, this is Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game, in case you didn't work it out. And you got to get that damned SEO in there. It's a farming sim and it's coming out this winter. But then we also got Ace Attorney Investigations Collection, which I felt was
a
weird
exciting
title because it doesn't inherently suggest that it's spin-off games, at least not to me. I might be wrong about that, but it's 2 spin-off games. That's all the notes I got. I don't know why. Maybe I wasn't paying full attention. Take it away, Felix.
Okay, so something that's really cool is that the second game was stuck in Japan, so there was no official way to play it, and that came out in 2011.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just really exciting. It's some games that I really wanted to try out because I'm currently in the second game, really enjoying it, and I love the character of Edgeworth, and cannot wait to see what this game has to offer. I know they're different. That's really nice. It's like you're playing the other side, so it's kind of like
you're the defendant as opposed to the prosecutor, aren't you? Or are you the prosecutor?
Yes.
Normally
you're the defendant. Really stoked that they are coming to the Switch as a collection because.
Yeah, this is one that I was not expecting on my bingo card.
No.
I think it didn't, not that it didn't make sense, but it didn't feel like Capcom would put enough resources into this. But yeah, and the pixel art was really cool too to see that because the other versions I don't think have had that, but in these remasters here, you'll be able to play with the pixels, or you can switch to hand-drawn illustrations, and it looks nice.
It seemed like it was those those zoomed out sections because they had quite a different art style compared to the rest of the game. So I think it's just those sections you can change to pixel art because it is such a such a change from the game. I didn't pick up if it was the whole thing.
I think you walk around as Miles Edgeworth instead of point and clicking your way through things.
It's actually a nice art style they've chosen. I quite like how they handled it.
With this, technically the only thing we're missing is Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, and we may never get that just because of the level 5 and Capcom collaboration that was. But I think the next step forward is just a brand new Ace Attorney game, which is really exciting.
Yeah, it looks like they are building up for that because now you can play, there's no more games stuck in Japan. You have, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which, by the way, absolutely fantastic game. Those were the ones I tackled first, and yeah, insane how good they end. It's just such a culmination of, I don't know, I can't even remember how many hours I put into it, but it's a long game.
It's long, yeah, it's long.
Yeah, and now I'm just working my way through the 6 mainline ones, and
just the 6 mainline games, but
no, but they're so good, so it doesn't feel like that big of a task. So I'm just excited that there's even more waiting for me. Or maybe it's just like a good break, since it's a different game. So maybe I've played a bit of Ace Attorney. Okay, now I want to play a bit of Investigations. So, oh my god, I'm so excited. 6th of September. Woohoo!
Yeah, Kate Gray is like eating real good. She's a big Miles Edgeworth fan.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna text her right now.
I need to get into some Ace Attorney games because I tried one on the 3DS, but I was like playing it on a capture unit, which is, if you're not familiar, is like big, bulky, big, heavy cables coming out. It's not a pleasant way to play a 3DS game, so I definitely want to give one of these a go. I just haven't got around to it.
Yeah, I'd be curious what you think of them because it's just like a good book. You can really just get sucked in and
definitely.
Yeah.
And it's so epic at times. It's just where you're sitting. Yes, this is. Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening right now. So yeah, you should definitely pick them. Like, there's a reason people love these games so much because they are just absolutely fantastic.
Then we got to look at the 100-line Last Defense Academy. That's coming out in 2025. And then we got Romancing Saga 2 Revenge of the Seven, which is... I was really confused because I was like, didn't that come out recently? This is like a remake, whereas before it was like an HD version or something like that. So it's a remake of Romancing Saga 2.
Yeah, this is like way, way bigger than I ever could have imagined, like the Romancing Saga... Like, because Romancing Saga 2, yeah, like you said, was already like remastered technically for Switch, and this is like a full-on. It's like the Trials of Mana remake almost in a sense, where yeah, they're taking this old Super Nintendo game and giving it like a completely new look. And I've never really gotten into the Saga games, but I'm pretty excited about this. I want to be the main character as well. I think he looks real cool.
Yeah, the performance was actually really good. It ran. I was surprised to see just how well it ran. It's like, damn, this is on Switch. This is so unheard of. I don't think it's a game I'll play, but it did look all right.
Do you know what looked more than all right, though?
Yes.
Metroid,
I don't know.
Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I've got to tell you guys, I've been holding back on this. When that first came on, I saw the first line, and it just said like the year or something. And then I looked down at my notes and I just typed, "This isn't Silk Song." Did not see the bit that talked about the Galactic Federation.
No way.
And then I saw the Samus's gunship, and I was like, that looks a lot like Samus's gunship from Metroid Prime 3. Not exactly the same, but okay. And then Samus came out the top, and I was like, oh, is it a remake of Metroid Prime 3 Corruption? And then I was like, they've changed the design of Samus quite a bit. And I was like, oh, maybe it's not a Prime game. And then it did the thing zooming into the back of the head. And I was like, oh, it is. And then suddenly the big laser. And I was like, oh, God, yeah, there's Metroid Prime 4 as well.
That is so innocent. I love it. I love that for you so much.
The
That's
thing
great.
is, I then spent so much of my time paying attention that it still hasn't fully sunk in yet. So I was just watching it with like no emotions going through me. Not because I wasn't pleased with what I was seeing, and now I've had time to process it, I'm agog. But to begin with, I was just like, oh, it's Metroid Prime 4. Oh, they're actually doing it. Oh, it's Metroid Prime 4.
Alex has just been like very...
You're just in shock.
Yeah, he's been rattled. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I think in a way I was in shock, which is mad to say. There's so much to unpack here. I'm probably going to do something talking a bit more about the significance of what we see here.
Yes.
Obviously, we see a load. Scanning's back. The lock-on is back as well. I would like it if the lock-on plus the motion control thing that we saw in Prime Remastered was a thing, but I imagine it probably is. This game is running brilliantly.
Yes.
Like, the frame rate is crystal clear.
It's pretty.
And
so pretty.
it is. It is being compressed terribly on YouTube.
Oh, yes.
Like,
Right.
really terribly, especially considering it's a live stream as well, which really
That last shot after the title screen.
after the title screen?
Yeah, they
What,
have
you
the-
mean like the open area and everything?
Yeah, that looks so good.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't got that far yet. I need to talk about the main antagonist. Do either of you recognize the main antagonist at
So
all?
Sion was like, Alex is going absolutely, he's losing his absolute mind.
I wish I was. I
Is
am
it
now,
Cyrex?
but at the
Is that who that is?
Silux.
Silux. Okay, thank
close.
Silux is an important character because Silux was first introduced in Metroid Prime Hunters on the DS, and there's very little known about Silux, only that he has an intense hatred of the Galactic Federation, and he has been teased so many damn times. He was in Federation Force. He was at the end of Metroid Prime 3. he's a big deal. He's a really big wheel down at the Cracker Factory. But more importantly, Sylux has the space pirates on his side, which is a very big deal.
Oh,
But an even bigger deal, he's got Metroids with him.
Yeah.
Those are like tamed Metroids, which I would say has never happened before. It has with the baby.
Right.
But like it is not, they are animals, well, sort of.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a big deal.
Like little
Everything we're
raptor
seeing
things.
here. Yeah, it's a big deal. Everything that we're seeing, and I'm not sure about the title Beyond. I'm guessing that's an event horizon in the background.
Yeah, I hope Buzz Lightyear doesn't show up because this is not his game.
No, but in the start, I wasn't reacting that like heavily because I haven't played 2 or 3. I've only played the first remastered one. So I was like, is this a remaster? I didn't want to like just say, oh, this is Metroid Prime 4. Then it turns out to be a remaster of the second game or something like that. It's just so nice to actually see gameplay. They just went right in with gameplay. Looks fantastic. Drops the title and 2025.
Yeah, I really like that Sylux, like, because one of my big concerns with Sylux being like the main antagonist potentially of this game, you know, we don't know that yet, of course, but I always thought that he like kind of just wasn't that like scary or like intimidating of a character. But the way that Sylux like walks out with like so much power and like you said, has the 2 Metroids behind him is like, yeah,
that's a
like,
power
right,
move
you've seen,
if you've ever seen one.
Absolutely, it's really impressive, and of course it's coming out next year, which makes a lot of sense. And I do hope that means that we'll see, you know, this potentially release on the Switch successor, and then it'll look even better than, you know, the YouTube compressed version that we saw here. I mean, we don't know that it'll release on both systems, but I would like to see that. Yeah, like as a like a way to like, you know, respect the people that bought Switch 1, and you know, games will still be backwards compatible most likely, I hope. I shouldn't say most likely, but I hope, you know. It's exciting though. It's really nice to have this to look forward to. We really saw it, guys. We really saw Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, when I was sitting here, I was just in disbelief, like, man, we've been waiting so long for this. Now it's here. Whoa.
Yeah, I really need to, like, I'm going to keep owning up to the fact that I still have not played through Metroid Prime 1. And I will change that. I will finally change that, guys. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for taking so long. I've started it like 3 times, and I just always put it down.
Just remember to save a lot. That's my only tip, because you can lose a lot of progress if you forget to save.
Okay, I'm down for that. I'm conditioned to save.
I'm just thinking through everything to do with like what they could do with Sylux when it comes to combat and things like that, because obviously we've had Dark Samus in 2 and 3, but Sylux is similar. He's still a bounty hunter, but he's also different in so many other ways. Like he has, you know how like Samus turns into a morph ball? Mm-hmm. He has one as well, but it's called the Lockjaw, and it's weird looking. It's weird looking, and he drops like electric bombs. I can't remember for certain, but I seem to think that his armor is stolen from the Galactic Federation. Not 100% sure about that, but he's a naughty boy. But the fact is that Dark Samus was always kind of like a reflection of Samus, which is fine, but Sylux is the same but different, and so they could surprise us with so many different things. Like, Dark Samus is still limited to Samus-type things. Sylux does not have those limitations. I mean, it blew my mind in Hunters when we got all the other bounty hunters and we got all their different alt forms and things like that. Like, I can't remember which one it was, but one of them could, like, turn into a turret, and then you could, like, leave the turret behind and run around on your arms. It was bonkers. It was the robot one. It was the robot one. What was his name?
Robot.
Weevil! Weevil! I'm pretty sure it's Weevil. Is it Weevil?
Okay.
It's either Weevil or Spire. No, Spire's the lava one.
All I'm saying is that everyone watching, just be prepared for a lot of Metroid Prime 4 videos, because Alex is just brimming. I think if we just let him talk, he would talk for a half an hour more just about theories and stuff. So, yeah.
It's entirely possible.
I'm excited to see whatever this world tree thing is, like potentially at like that we saw in like that last glimpse of gameplay as well.
Well, that gets me excited for. I'll be brief, I promise, but that gets me excited
please.
for a different reason. Because very typically in Metroid Prime games, you open up in one area and then you go to the main area after that, but that acts as like a sort of a tutorial. And I think that's what we're getting at the beginning here. And then that big open, like when we actually see the planet and the tree, heavily suggests that it's going to be another lonely game, which 3 wasn't so much, and I wasn't as keen on. But 2 is less lonely than 1. But Metroid games I always feel are best when you feel lonely and weak. And so, thumbs up for that.
Hoping it's very desolate. Yeah, I did play a little bit of 3 back when it launched. I rented it, and yeah, I remember that, like just there being a lot more dialogue, and yeah, I didn't consider like getting that shift back to that like isolated kind of space would be nice.
Well, there we go. Those are our thoughts on the Direct. But before we wrap up, score out of 10, Felix.
High 9 out of 10. That was such a good Direct. I really enjoyed it. It's going to be very hard to ever have a Direct that's 10 out of 10 just because, you know, it has to be almost perfect. But no, solid 9 out of 10. There was so much for me, which was just incredible. What about you, Sion?
I think a 9 as well. I think for some reason I walk away from this Direct a little feeling like not as energized as normal, but I think I might just be a little tired, you know?
It's early.
So, yeah, but I think there's a lot of things that I'm like, even though we just chatted about it for an hour, I'm excited to go back and like dig more into this stuff. So I think honestly, yeah, I think a 9 as well from me. What about you, Alex?
I'm going to have to go with an 8. Only because, I know,
yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it was a really, really good Direct. But there were a lot of things that that weren't my thing, that I didn't personally care about. But that's fine. There were still some incredible things. And honestly, this sounds like a joke. It would be a 9 if it weren't for Funko Fusion. Like, that just made me angry.
Nice.
Like,
that's funny.
Really, that does not deserve it. But, certainly with like Dragon Quest, I can see why you guys would rate it a little bit higher. But yeah, still a very good Direct, and one of the best I think we've had in a long time.
Yeah, I really did not expect that going in. I thought, okay, we'll have a slow Direct since it's at the end of the lifespan of the Switch. They know as we all know, there's a Switch successor, so they don't want to announce a lot of big stuff, but there's just so much stuff for me. I just felt so seen, like Mario Party, yay! Ace Attorney Investigations, yay!
Yeah.
Oh, so great. And Mario and Luigi in the start, that was such a great way to start it off.
It was. It had so much energy to it, didn't it?
Really did.
Yeah, this was very, like, I feel like it was a very niche Direct in the sense that, like, there were a lot of things that catered to, like, specific audiences. And it was cool to see them, like, really believe in Metroid Prime 4 at the end and end with that. And, man, think about what the special edition Switch is going to look like for Metroid Prime 4.
Oh. I don't even want to think about it.
It's not going to glow. It's not going to glow right.
What if it did? Oh my gosh.
Just going to say, they got the art down so good. It looks so good. Just, like, go back, watch it, and do your best. Try and find the best frame. Like, find a keyframe. Look at her arm cannon. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even consider that this is the first time we've seen Samus actually in the universe. I didn't even consider that. Sorry, I just, like, man.
But those are our thoughts. What are yours? Let us know in the comments down below. We would genuinely love to hear what your experience was when you watched it. Or have you just seen this? If that's the case, write the word carbonara in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, carbonara, why don't you point directly at that subscribe button? Do it now, and be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.